Hello and welcome to another episode of Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV with me, Adam Mani Angora. In this program, where we try to teach how to prepare some dishes, whether internationally recognized ones or local dishes, and we, of course, try to create, using our own creativity, some unique dishes as well. So in today's episode, we are going to prepare a kind of bread that I did learn from a Bangladesh friend, a Bengali friend, and also a kind of drink which I called Adam's Shake. So to see all this interesting thing, follow us as we dive into the program. But until then, let us go for a short break and we will be right back. So welcome back, and here we are. The ingredients needed for this recipe are, first of all, the all-purpose flour, and also we are going to need some milk, of course fresh milk, and also some amount of water. We always use yeast when we are preparing things to do with baking, right? So we are going to need some yeast, some salt, some sugar, and also we are going to need some dates, some cardamom, I mean the powdered cardamom, some powdered cinnamon, and then also we are going to need some cashew nuts, some almond nuts, a few amount of chives, from spring onions, and yeah, what have you. So let us get started. So first of all, I will prepare the dough with which we will make the bread first, and then as we set it aside, to rise, I will now begin to prepare the Adam's Shake. So let's do this. The quantity of water we need, in this recipe is a kind of 1.5 cup. This size of cup, of course. So this gives us the amount we need. So I'll go ahead and put it inside of my glass bowl, and also I am going to need some amount of fresh milk. So in this case, I need 1.5 cups of fresh milk. Okay, then I am going to need yeast. And then some pinch of salt, sugar, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is, of course, to stir very well the mixture of this fresh milk, water, yeast, and some sugar and salt. So as I do this, the next thing that I'm going to do is, of course, to bring my flour and add it. And then I will now begin to mix it. But then one thing that I forgot is to wear my hand gloves, which I am going to put now, and then begin to mix it, right? So now that I put my hand glove, I'll go ahead and mix my flour. So using the measurement of milk and water that I just gave, you can use up to 1 kilogram of flour. And also, if you like, you can mix two different flours together. For instance, while you use the all-purpose flour, you can also, if you wish, you can also add whole wheat flour, perhaps to give it a different taste, maybe different look, and also different fragrance. So depending on what you actually so desire. So as we mix the flour, I will now go ahead and put it probably under direct sunlight so that it rises really fast. So now that I have put the dough under the sunlight to rise, so we will go ahead and prepare the shake, and of course our dates. One very important thing that should be done is to make sure that you remove the seeds from inside of the dates. So we have this, and for this one we need about 10 pieces of dates. See, I'm removing the seeds, and then while I am doing this, let me actually put on the fire. So what I'll do here is to add about a quarter or half cup of my fresh milk, and then give it a heat. And I'll continue now to remove the seeds from these dates. Because we are later going to blend the whole thing, so if you don't remove the seeds, your blender might end up being damaged. Now we have 10 pieces of dates. The next thing I'm going to put is about 15 pieces of almond nuts. I will also add about 10 pieces of cashew nuts. And then I will now pour the hot milk. The reason why I am heating the milk is because I need my dates to be as soft as possible, so that it is easy for me to blend it so that my blender doesn't suffer much and doesn't get damaged. So our milk is really hot right now. I'll now go ahead and add it to my mixture of dates, cashew nuts and almond nuts. So I will get it covered for about 15 to 20 minutes so that the whole thing is soft. And then we will now put it aside until it's ready to blend. So you can see that the dough has risen, and we'll now begin to fold it and make the shape that we need. So let me get it out of the bowl and then transfer it onto the board. And then I will begin to knead it. Slowly and gently. So let's get our fire ready to begin pan baking of the bread. So this, some people might be surprised that I said I'm making a bread, and then some will be thinking about me putting the bread into the oven. So this is a different style. Actually, I am going to bake it with a pan, and I will first allow my pan to get hot, and then I will begin putting the bread on it one after another until I have all of them baked. So here we go. And then as I wait for the pan to get hot, I will now go ahead and continue to mold my bread. Okay, and We'll give this one also a roll. So my pan is getting hot, and then I'll go ahead and put my bread on it as low heat as possible, you know, to get a better result. If you use high heat, what will happen is that you will end up burning the outer part of the bread while the inside is not cooked. So it's very much important to pay attention to these details. Okay, this should be okay like this. Then I'll go ahead and mold this one as well, while checking the one that is already on fire. No? And then let's proceed and turn it over. Now slowly and give it a low heat. And then as I do this, let me now cut my chives and make them ready for use. As you notice, these chives, I am cutting them as tiny as possible. So it isn't necessary that you use chives. No, I will highly recommend that if you can get them available, you use either celery or parsley or mint leaves. So you make them as thin as possible. So this is my unsalted butter, and I will just add a little amount of olive oil in it. And then mix them together. So with this I can help my bread with some butter, then like this, and then turn it over. As I continue to cut my chives, so you can see my bread is making progress and is popping up, and also I am getting a kind of brown color on the surface of it, and then turn it over. And then add my butter a little bit. and then I'll turn it over, and then add some of my butter here. And then continue to give it a push. So adding the butter the way I do is absolutely not necessary, but you know, if you notice your bread is getting kind of dry, so you need to apply some of the butter of olive oil to make it as soft as possible, you know, because it may not taste good if you eat it dry. So this is how we will continue to push it slowly and giving it a low heat until the desired result is obtained. So while I continue to do this, let us go for a short break and we will be right back. Welcome back, and in case you are just joining us, you are watching Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV, and you have really missed a lot, but I'm very sure that you'll be able to catch up. So going by finishing off our bread, I will now go ahead and decorate the last piece of our bread, and then we will now go ahead and begin with the process of serving, right? So let's get this done. So here we go. I will now go ahead and remove this one and turn my fire off. And then remember, when I mixed my hot fresh milk with the dates, the almond nuts, and also the cashew nuts, which I said I was going to blend it. So here we are, already been blended, and then we will now put the remaining ingredients and then blend it further. So before, as I said, I added a half cup of fresh milk. So what I'm going to do now is to add 2 cups of milk, the fresh milk of course, to the blender. Okay, I've added it now, and then I will add cardamom powder in it, and then some cinnamon powder, and also I am going to add some amount of condensed milk. And then Milo, depending on what you call it, Milo, Milo, whatever I feel like you are comfortable with, you can just call it that way. So here we go, and then I'll go ahead and now give it more blending. An additional tip, and with this I'll now remove this and then get it ready inside of our cup. See, and here we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is, of course, to serve our bread, which I am very, very optimistic that you would really like to try it. You know, it's looking absolutely nice, so appetizing, so beautiful, you know, so delicious. So this is our bread being served And of course, you know, if you like this dish, you can have it for breakfast, you know, or even brunch. You know, it's something absolutely nice to have. So with this, I would say, let me test first before I call off our today's episode, because I really can't wait to feel, you know, the magic. Absolutely nice, not too sweet, not too salty, just perfect. And now I can go ahead and accompany it with this shake is really shaky because it has shaken my brain, you know. I've gotten now refreshed. I feel like I'm starting this cooking now. So with this, we have brought this episode to an end, and it is our hope that you continue to watch, learn, and practice with us at Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. And we see you again in another show next week. And bye for now.